Here we go.
We didn't talk about who was starting.
I just assumed you were. Welcome to the Monday episode of the Merge Feast. A little behind the scenes peek. So, perks of switching it up. Who's on this show every week? So, what's going on?
Happy Monday. I'm old now. I'm 29.
Dang. Happy belated early birthday.
Yeah, belated.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it, Blake. So, just had the merge last episode, and a lot has happened. Nate went home, and I want to get into some of the players that are in the merge that we haven't really had a chance to talk about. Well, okay, that's not true. We've had plenty of chances to talk about them, but just kind of get into where they are in the game right now after everything that's unfolded over the last episode. You want to do that?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, there's definitely some players in very unique positions, and then a couple that we haven't really talked much about. So yeah, let's do it. Who's up first? Who are we talking about?
So I know that we've talked a lot about Rizo and Savannah, and they've both had a ton of screen time, but I think they're in a really interesting position after the vote last week. I think they went from being on feeling like they're, at the top to, well, crap, I don't really know where we are now, and we got to figure it out. So what is Rizo and Savannah's next move after losing Nate?
Man, that's a tough one, because what they need to do and what I think they're going to do, I think, are two different things. I get the sense that, I don't know, I just have this gut feeling that they're both going to dig their heels in and say, no, this is the way I want to play, and just kind of slowly get picked off. And I know you said that you could see Rizo and Savannah ending like 7th and 8th, or 6th and 7th, not really making it to the top 5. And I mean, I definitely see a path forward for them, but I don't know that I see the strategy and people wanting to work with them right now. Like, Rizzo's been a topic of conversation for a lot of people several weeks in a row, and Savannah is rubbing people the wrong way. So I don't know. I just don't see a lot of people wanting to work with them, especially they're kind of on the bottom already after this week. So I don't know. They definitely have to pivot if they're going to make it much further, but I don't know. I worry about them.
Yeah, they've I know I said in the recap episode that I think that if anybody can figure it out, it's them, with the combination of Soph. But man, Savannah's kind of dug herself a hole, and she's made enemies. Sage wants to go after her. She didn't really have a great moment with MC, so MC's not going to be in a hurry to help pull her out of the hole that she's dug. So it's an uphill battle for her. And while I do think that there's a chance that she can do something, whether it's win immunity or find some crazy way to utilize Rizzo's idol, it's not looking good for, at least in the short term, for Savannah and Rizo and co.
Yeah, I kind of, it seems like they're relying more on their social game than their strategic game. And the social game is not getting them as far as I think they thought it would, at least in Savannah's case, because the blunder this week that she had with MC trying to snatch those keys from her and then turn around and try to work with her, I'm like, why did you think that was ever going to work? Like, that had to have just been lapse in judgment. Oh, wow, I got to try and grab this. Oh, dang it, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. And this might be a little extreme, but it's kind of insulting to MC, honestly, to go from, I'm going to literally dive onto these keys that I have no idea what they're even for or how I'm going to utilize them, and then turn around and grab your arm and say, hey, can you look at me? We can work together because of X, Y, and Z, with her big dead eyes or whatever MC said.
Yeah.
Like,
And then to say, I won't tell anybody about this. And what she turned right around and said, oh, I told her I wasn't going to tell anybody, but I'm telling everybody. It's like, what? Super insulting. And it almost made me think, like, okay, does she think she's smarter than everybody else, or think that everybody else is just, a little dumb? And I mean, MC clearly saw straight through it. So
yeah,
uphill battle for sure.
I think this is the first time for Savannah where she hasn't had the control. So original Uli, she was kind of in the top there. Then they had the tribe swap. She went to a tribe that had 4 Uli versus 2 Hina, 4 Uli, 2 Hina, and a misfit original Kella. Had the control there, could kind of do what she wanted, and then now she's in a situation where everybody's on the same beach, and she had her first real misstep of the game. And it was, in my opinion, a big one. I'm curious what what should she have done in that scenario where she walks up on MC?
I think she played it fine until she tried to grab the keys. So it's, do you mind if I help you look? And you can clearly see that MC is like kind of annoyed, but you're obviously not going to say, okay, yeah, I'll leave you alone and let you look. It's going to be, okay, do you mind if I help you look? Let's do this. Oh, heck yeah, you found it. Hey, they're right there. Like, what is it? Love to work with you. I thinking I'm with this group and I just don't know that I trust them. Kind of build some trust there, and then like prove your trust by not telling anybody about it. Like, I don't know. But as soon as she grabbed the keys and then, reach for them and then turn around and told everybody, I'm like, you were creating distrust, and she will never work with you.
Yeah.
So she was really close to playing it really well and setting herself up in a good position. So I don't know, again, lapse in judgment or what, but poor decision on her part.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And sometimes one bad decision is all it takes in Survivor to kind of tank the rest of your game.
And I think we kind of lumped Rizzo in with Savannah a little bit. And I don't know that he had a big blunder this week, but I think he's in a really unique position too, because everybody knows he has this idol. He literally showed everybody the idol. And then to say you're going to play it and not, like, you could argue that, how that's going to play out strategically. But I mean, him having the idol clearly puts a target on his back, but now he's got to play it at the right time. And at this point, it's, you almost, I don't know, I would think the odds of them blindsiding me and me going home with an idol in my pocket are pretty high. So I either need to play it for somebody who is on the chopping block or play it for myself and risk no votes coming my way, just like MC did this week, just to get it out of there and get that monkey off my back. And so I'm not looked at as a threat because I have the idol.
Yeah, I almost wonder if I don't know what to call the other tribe, the original Hina plus the others that have kind of joined them.
The misfits.
Yeah. I almost wonder if you play it to where you try to get Rizzo to flush his own idol, and in a way of kind of being open, like, hey, we're kind of throwing Rizzo's name out and give him maybe a little bit of paranoia, and then have him have the idea that his name's on the chopping block, and then maybe you throw votes at Savannah or so for whoever's kind of in that group, and then you flush an idol and get rid of somebody all in one, two birds, one stone kind of situation.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, Savannah and Rizzo, they've been kind of the two narrators of the season, really. But I want to talk some kind of lower profile players. Sophie, original Hina, Sophie, Yellow Sophie, whatever we want to call her, been kind of quiet through most of pre-merge. But she had kind of her moment in this first episode. She won the first individual immunity challenge of Survivor 49. What's Sophie's next move?
I don't know, because before she won that immunity idol, she was going home. At least that's what it sounded like. Now, would Jawan and Sage have flipped and they still had the numbers? Potentially, but everybody seemed... I mean, her name was kind of the talk of the town. And we haven't really seen much gameplay from her. I think her and Christina I saw, and we can probably repost it on X, but her and Christina by far have the lowest number of confessionals. Like, I think Sophie had 13 and Christina had 11. And the next closest was like 23. So they've had like half of the amount of confessionals, which tells me they haven't really done a whole lot. Now, both of those, both Sophie and Christina, never, like, they didn't go to tribal council until the merge. So that's probably a factor in that. But if Sophie is going to be a target, then she needs to keep winning. But I feel like we're starting to see her game play a little bit. And now that Uli realizes that, oh shoot, we don't have the numbers, we've got to mix something up. We can't keep, the odds of Sage and Jawan voting with us again are probably pretty slim. The other side's going to pick us off. We've got to adjust. So that might be a really good thing for Sophie, and get somebody looking in a different direction.
She's in an interesting spot because we haven't really seen much of her, and she's in this scenario where, okay, if I stick with Steven, Jawan, and Sage, I'm on the bottom. But if I flip to Savannah, Soph, and Rizo, I'm on the bottom. So, which could be a good place for her to be. She could be kind of that middleman and go, hey, I'm just going to kind of go what's best for me for that particular vote. But I think if I'm just thinking down the road and she's sitting in final three, man, she's got a lot of work to do if I'm a jury member and want to give her my vote, because one individual immunity challenge isn't $1 million play. So I think my gut tells me that, and we've seen players like her before where I don't want to say they don't do anything pre-merge, but we don't see much of them pre-merge, and then all of a sudden we hit the merge and it's like, boom, they're telling the story. And I could kind of see that happening with her.
I mean, that's how Genevieve was. You kind of forgot about her pre-merge, and then the merge came around and it was like, whoa, where did you come from? You are brilliant. And I kind of hope we get some of that with Sophie. And then seeing that she's a strategy associate, like, strategy is going to be a strong suit of hers, just whether or not she can, make the moves. I don't know.
Yeah. Kind of in that same boat with Sophie, we had Steven, who has kind of found a home with Sage and Jawan, but I mean, he was clearly on the chopping block in this episode and was very aware that was the situation. He was kind of doing the math pre-tribal and was like, they're probably throwing names my way. One, that's a scary situation to be in, but for Steven, is this going to be one of those things where they're just going to be writing my name down every week and I'm eventually going to go home? Or is it going to be kind of one of those, like, we have a short memory and maybe Jawan and Sage will catch votes, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I really, really like Steven. I feel like he's very personable, well-spoken, and pretty smart for him to figure out, like, yeah, I know votes are coming my way without even hearing my name being thrown out. Just doing the math and figuring it out. I think he's good enough socially that he could probably, weasel his way out of the situation he's in. But, I don't know. You see it quite often where people just get locked on one person. And it's like, okay, that's an easy vote. Let's try and get him out. Like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but we're going to try it. And, eventually kind of go down with it. But I don't know. I really like him, and I would love to see him pair up with, some stronger players like the, Alex or Sophie or the Soph. I don't know, some of those. And because I definitely see him as part of like the better player group, but we haven't necessarily seen that. I don't know why I have that view of him. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if you feel the same way or not, if you think of him as a better player than what he's actually done. But
yeah, I've liked Steven. When I go back to kind of the original Hina, Steven and MC kind of coming together, I liked that duo, and I liked their dynamic, and I liked the idea of them going far into the game, and I kind of put him up high on the list of like, okay, he's going to be a good player. He's got social game and strategy down. And you saw even this week, he was final 2 in the immunity challenge. So he's kind of hit the trifecta there. And I like where he's at. And I feel like he's insulated enough to where, yeah, he caught some votes tonight. But I think if he just nurtures the relationships that he's made, then I think he'll be fine. I think while we saw Jawan and Sage flip, I still feel like the water's really muddy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like it's going to be as simple as Savannah goes next.
One with Savannah and Rizo having his immunity idol, like that's up for grabs there. So yeah, I'm with you. I think the waters are still muddy, and I'd forgotten about how close him and MC were. So that's, he still got that. And even though we didn't really see them talk much this episode, but they were clearly 1 and 2, back at the original Hina. So I don't know. I definitely hope he goes far, because I do really like him, and I think he's super smart. So
yeah, he's good. I feel like I've never been more confused about what's going to happen next, which is a good place to be as a viewer, because I feel like, all right, I kind of see what's going to happen here, but it's still like, I need to see more because I need clarification. But before we get out of here, I think there's one more player that we should discuss a little bit, and that's Soph. I think we both think she's in a little bit of an interesting spot. And in a unique spot, because she has an advantage that nobody knows about, and it is knowledge is power. And so far, obviously MC got rid of her immunity idol, but she knows that Rizo has his immunity idol. And just for clarification of what the knowledge is power is, it is, she can ask anybody, hey, do you have this advantage? And if they do, they have to say yes, and they have to give it to her. That's how it works. I'm curious if she's going to see a scenario where she needs to get out of the alliance that she's in and turn on Rizo. I think that'd be really fun. Be like, hey, man, you have an idol? Yeah, you do. Thanks. You don't anymore. It's mine now. But she's kind of been surviving for, no pun intended, this entire season. I've told you that I think she has a 99% chance of winning. I still feel that. Are you there yet? Are you willing to say you could see her winning?
Do I think she has a 99% chance of winning? No, I'm not there yet. But I think where she's at in the game is better than anyone currently, in my opinion. The fact that she's kind of in the middle, being on that original Kelly tribe, still having a good relationship with Alex, who's playing the other side and kind of playing both sides. She found a home with the original Uli. They brought her in like one of their own, and they seem to love her and involve her in everything. It's not like she's just kind of a tag along. She has the knowledge is power that nobody knows about, and has found out about everybody else's advantage. So I feel like before we've had people with the knowledge is power, and they don't know who has the advantage, who has an idol. And, we've seen that used, and they're like, nope, sorry, I don't. And I mean, I don't know. She's going to have to make some big moves. And I think to build her resume post-merge, she's going to have to do more than just survive, but she couldn't be in a better position, in my opinion. Kind of floating in the middle, and she's got all the power in the world. So
yeah. So I have a question for you. Out of everybody left right now, what is your dream final three? Your ideal final three?
Final three? You're gonna make me narrow it down to three, huh?
Yep. Ask the hard questions.
Okay. So let me clarify. Who I want to be in the final three, or who I think will be in the final three, because those are two different answers, and I can give you both.
Yeah, do both. Go ahead and do
Okay.
both. Yeah.
All right. So right now, Sophie, Steven, Alex is who I would want to be final three.
Okay.
And Sophie with the I, Blue Sophie, Soph.
Yeah.
We got 12 nicknames for her. And I would throw Rizo in as maybe number 4 and maybe interchange any of them. Who I think will be final 3 right now, I think it'll be MC, Jawan, and Alex.
MC, Jawan, and Alex. Okay.
Yeah.
That's who you think it will be.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm not locking anything in. I'm not picking a winner or anything. But right now, I feel like when I envision who's left, where everybody's sitting right now, I think they've got the best shot of making it to the final 3. And I think, honestly, everybody's got an opportunity to get there. The only person that I'm really discounting, and I probably shouldn't because she could be a little bit of a goat that gets dragged to the end, would be Christina. Mm-hmm. That's the only person that I'm like, I don't really care if you're here or not. Respectfully, I like her, but I just, she's not really doing much for me. Everybody else, I'm on board with.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
So I think I think Soph, Rizo, and Alex would be really fun. I think seeing Soph and Alex be in shambles at Original Kella and then make it to the end. Both of them have very compelling stories to tell. And Rizo is just super fun and entertaining, and I would love to hear his pitch because I think he's been a really fun player, and I think he's played a good game, and I think he has a case to be made as well. I said it earlier. I said it last episode. I don't think he's going to make it that far, though. I think he's 6th or 7th. But that's who I want, who I think is going to be there. I think Soph will be there. I think it'll be somebody like Steven and MC. I think they have the what it takes to get there. And any 3 of them so far, if they got there, I would be happy with any of them winning. I like all 3 of those players. But I think we're in a good position though, because while I think there's obviously better players than others this season, I would be happy with most of them making the path to the final 3. And the beauty of it is, while there's still players that are kind of lower on the totem pole, I think there's obviously still a lot of game left to where we could see Christina and we could see Sophie continue to build a resume and make a case for being in the end and winning.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And what you said earlier about not knowing really what's going to happen, where, you know, other seasons you kind of get a sense of like, all right, it's probably going to go this direction. I love that as a viewer, and I'm, you know, this is what I live for in Survivor, is this type of a merge, and I couldn't be happier with all the tribe swaps beforehand that kind of shook up those tribal lines, and I'm here for it. I love it. I can't wait until next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Before we get out of here, let's do a bracketology update.
Shout out to my mom. Mom had some medical stuff going on, so she was in the hospital and completely forgot to set her lineup. So,
way to put your health first.
Yep.
But leaderboards moved a little bit. Blake, you're firmly on top, I would say, with 621 points.
Running away with it. I scored 90 points this week.
Yeah, nice work. Yvonne still holding down second place, 569. My brother-in-law is in third, 567, right on Yvonne's toes. Logan, where are you going? You're going the wrong way.
Slipped a little bit, yep.
63, and who's that in fifth, Blake? Read that name.
Moving on up, Brandon Johnson. Let's go. You've been just steadily climbing. I got to watch out for you.
I told you a few weeks ago. I was in 11th place. I said it's not, it doesn't mean no good to be at the top now when the goal is to be at the top at the end.
Hey, you keep climbing.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I'm coming for you. Now, I will say that it probably is a product of people forgetting to set their lineups, but
yeah,
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah. I like it. I think, honestly, top 6 or 7 is like it's anybody's game still. And you see, I scored 90 points. I don't think anybody scored higher than that, but looking at the total full scoring recaps, you could have, so it was 31, 31, 28, 28. So, you could have easily scored over 100 if you pick the top 4. 100 points between, what am I at? So 621. 100 points would put me back in 7th. So it's really anybody's game there. And that's just 1 week. So I don't know. I love the bracketology thing. It's super cool. And we talk about it with a coworker, Heath, all the time. And it's so much fun. I love it. So
yeah, I'm glad we did it. I hope to expand it for Survivor 50, but it's been a lot of fun. But with that being said, everybody, don't forget to set your lineups so you can be in that conversation of top 3, top 5. But tune in Friday. I think we have a wild episode of Survivor coming up on Wednesday, and I can't wait to break it down with Blake and Logan. So till then.
You won't be.
I won't be. I will. Wow. Okay.
You can wait.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So
no.
I won't be here. Blake and Logan will be holding it down.
Yeah, we'll hold it down, and yeah, we'll have the newsletter come out Wednesday morning as well. So check that out. But yeah, we'll have a good episode this week, and yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. So. And then, Brandon, we'll see you back in, I don't know, a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll be back in next year, I think. I don't know. I don't know where I'm at right now. Alrighty.
All right. Adios.